Hello, my name is Aaron Nichols and I work for Language Matters. And today we're going to be talking about the 4 things I wish I knew when I was learning another language. Number 1, there are many filler words, just as in your native language. In a foreign language, there's going to be many filler words that you do not know. And so it's good to get familiar with those because it'll help your listening skills immensely. When I was learning French, I remember I went over there and people were saying words I just didn't understand, and it messed with the comprehension of the entire sentence. And when I asked what these filler words meant, they meant nothing. They were just filler words, and they just put them in there as they were thinking. And so learn these filler words because not only can you use them for when you're thinking, but it'll help your comprehension immensely. Okay, number 2, when you learn a foreign language, the native speakers are going to have an accent. I learned French in the United States, and when I learned, I practiced with American speakers who also had learned French. And so they had an American accent. And so I became accustomed to my French teacher who was American, and she had an American accent, and my friends who had an American accent. And I became accustomed to that. I could hear French very well in an American accent. When I went over to France and they had a French accent, it was very difficult for me to understand. So watch videos for native speakers, meet native speakers and practice with them, because your classroom may not be enough before you go over there, because your comprehension is going to just jump when you start listening to native speakers. Number 3, you may know something in theory or on paper, but that does not mean you can say it yet. I remember I was able to write full papers and I could understand, I could read, and I could do all this, but then I would try to speak and I would sound like a baby. And the reason is you need more practice with certain phrases. So give yourself some time, and it takes repetition. Some experts say it takes up to 7 times before you can master speaking something in a foreign language. So the first time you try it, practice beforehand, before you say it in front of someone and you embarrass yourself. So practice, practice, practice is key, and you're going to have to actually say it multiple times before you say it correctly. Which brings me to the 4th point, number 4, is that if you stick to basic, simple sentences, you're going to sound way more fluent, because you may want to be able to explain these complicated and complex things just like you can in your native language. But in a foreign language, that's going to be very difficult for you because you lack the vocabulary and you lack the grammar. But if you stick to basics, then not only will French people think you know their language really well, or whatever language you're learning, that foreign language is like, wow, this person knows my language. She's not making any mistakes. Stick to the basics. You sound way more fluent. You communicate way better. You don't make as many mistakes that are embarrassing. You just make a few mistakes, but you still communicate. So stick to the basics. You sound so much more fluent. And in practice, outside of interactions, and you can really get better on your own, and then you start to incorporate those more into your conversations, and then you get more complex and more complex over time. So 3 and 4 go together. But anyways, those are the 4 things I wish I learned when I went to a different country and I learned a foreign language. So hopefully these were helpful for you, and stay tuned for more videos, and we'll be back again. Thank you for watching.